It is by caffeine alone I set my mind in motion. It is by the beans of Java the thoughts acquire speed, the hands acquire shaking, the shaking becomes a warning. It is by caffeine alone I set my mind in motion. Welcome to our Thursday night typical stream. This is Table Breakers, and we have tabled the discussion for poisons and potions for the moment because there's some more data that must be acquired, and that way people can have outrage. And then we had another most important topic to discuss. Yes, the Skyships of Arenaria?
Arenaria.
Thank you.
Arenaria.
Arenaria. The Skyships of Arenaria Prima. Or if you're Patrick Stewart, the Skyships of Arenaria Prima. Boy, that was really terrible. Hi, my name is Bruce. So we are playing with coffee beans, and while I put these in,
this is his only beans account.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Okay.
You know, poor kids from where do you get your coffee from there, Bruce?
Are you serious?
I am very serious. Might as well just plug this in right now.
This is a finely crafted set of beans from Blackout Coffee Company. Made out of Southern Florida, Blackout Coffee Company is a very, very big arbiter of the First and Second and all other amendments in the Bill of Rights. And they are very pro-America. I get my wonderful beans from these people. This particular brand is called Fowler's Makery and Mischief. It's a medium roast. It's got a little bit of a caramely taste to it. And whenever you brew it, it is a joy. You will be brought to order. It is time to make money. Go time is now. So that is Blackout Coffee. And we will get some links in the chat. So if you would like to procure some Blackout Coffee, you could go with either Barron's or my link. I believe they give you about the same amount, like 10% off. Sign up for Blackout Coffee to go in your email and your text messages, because you will get deals that we cannot provide, but they can, and their stuff is amazing. You grind your beans, don't get grounds, in my opinion. Go for the beans, grind them up. That way you get the two hits. You get that smell whenever you first pop open the grinder, and then you get it again whenever you start drinking the wonderful juice. Thank you, Baron. Thank you, Cigar DM. On with the show. Baron.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight, sir?
Yeah, I'm alive.
Alive? Okay. In the middle there, top row, we got the Crafting Gamer. Sir, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Wish my camera was working.
We're glad it's not. I mean, that's horrible.
Whoa, okay. You know what? It's way early, but we can still do this. We can still do this.
Connell, stop. Really?
I haven't had enough coffee today. I might have to, take advantage of those.
I wonder.
You don't drink coffee. Who are you kidding?
That's right, but they also sell tea.
They sell tea and they sell wonderful cocoa as well. So
Cocoa's
no matter,
fantastic.
Yeah, Blaine, how big of a cocoa fan are you as your household?
Pretty high.
Okay. Yeah, Blackout Coffee's fantastic. So go ahead and we'll get the link in the chat there. While I'm doing that, Cigar DM, how have you been, sir?
I'm doing all right. Could always do better.
What's up, Ironcaster?
What's up, Ironcaster? Welcome.
Ironcaster!
So
he's a model.
He's a what?
He paints models. He does what we do.
Oh. Because all I heard, he played Moodle. Yeah,
What the fuck is this shit? Gorbachev! The curse of Gorbachev is hit! Fuck!
I can't think of the show, but there was always a chasing scene. I'm not talking about Scooby-Doo with the music. The Benny Hill. I need to get the Benny Hill soundtrack. So when I have my Velociraptor chasing my wheelchair person, I can have that playing in the background.
It's called Yakety Sax.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna go to hell.
Okay, so the what we're talking about tonight is actually a game that we are going for the next 3 weeks, starting next week. This is something the crafting gamer has been writing, and he is going to give us a little primer, a little idea of the world, what we're looking at, how things work, and how we're going to break. I mean, how we're going to survive. Yeah, survive, not break things. We don't break things. No.
How many dice can you roll in your Exalted game? All of them.
I ran out of dice.
Me the
I'm
team
borrowing
at
yours.
Mixer.
I'm borrowing yours.
Blaine, how have you been?
I'm doing all right.
Good deal. You set for Saturday night's discussion?
Whatever it is, sure.
I'll let it be your choice. If you want to go with game discussion or gameology talk and discuss like crafting magic, or better yet, laying down some finer points, because I'm still working on the rule system for what I've got for the magic, but I'd be more than happy to pick your brain about things, and you've got a good mind about it. So if you want to start with that, then we pick on some things in Discord. We could do that, or we could just go to Discord. It doesn't matter.
Or hold up that book that you were showing us earlier.
Oh, the holy book.
That one?
Brutal Legend, the tabletop RPG.
This one? This one.
Yes.
It's cool. I liked it.
Give us a preview. Give us a preview.
I told you there was a Jack Black tribute picture.
That's awesome.
You know it's tribute. I mean, come on. It's good. It's fun. It's great. I mean, where else do you get to have, Nathan Explosion riding a metal unicorn into a picture?
That's awesome.
Okay, so TCG.
Yes.
Yeah. Give us the world. What world are we going to be going into, and what kind of things are we going to be doing?
Arenaria is a world that is so old that there is generations of civilization-based generations that have been long since forgotten. There are ancient temples and locations that if you find them, nobody has any knowledge what they were meant for or anything, because it's so old, nobody has a clue. I mean, like, we know Mesopotamia. Well, I'm talking things so old we can't even name it in the game. And that's just the main basis that's part of the base. Sorry. I'm getting a little excited. Yeah, part of the theme. I'm getting a little excited. But the main theme is the fact that there are 6 primary cultures under 6 different colored suns: green, red, blue, purple, yellow, and silver. There are 4 primary cultures that determine most of what happens within the world, because the Green Nation has virtually no ability to leave their home because their ships can't go very far, and the Silver Nation has absolutely no interest in the world. So it tends to be just those 4. The red, blue, purple, and yellow do the primary world control, basically. But the world is so vast, the world is literally the size of Jupiter, that their territories are extremely limited by comparison. Most of the world is just an open book that people can do whatever they want. That's the reason why.
I'm not going to try to bust your balls here, but it's going to come off like that. So, I mean, let's be adults here.
Okay.
Frog God Games has a campaign world called Lullagear, or the Lost Lands, and they've been putting material and content for that for the past 6 years pretty heavily out there. The reason why I'm asking you about this is because their world in their main book describes it as being the size of Jupiter, and they've detailed one continent, one singular continent, and then they said pretty much the rest of the world is yours to fuck with. So, were you inspired by that, or is this just something you've heard for the first time?
It's something I've heard for the first time. I was
Okay.
inspired by a video game called Skies of Arcadia.
Not familiar with that one.
It's a friggin' great game.
Uh-huh.
Do you have experience with this, Shadow?
Oh hell yeah, I still have it, and the strategy guide.
Is it a PC game or a console game?
Console, PlayStation
You can find it
2,
on the
I
PC
think.
now. I started on the Dreamcast, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. I had that there too. Yeah, it's basically like Spelljammer ships that aren't Spelljammer ships, but they're sailing ships. They fly. You've got a party of characters. You've got the ship, and you go on a big long ass RPG adventure.
Okay.
And as you do so, your ship gets you can upgrade the ship and get more cannons and blast more shit. And the only thing I didn't like about it, remember that freaking cloud bank area that you had to go in?
Oh, yeah. There's like a couple of those.
Oh, God, I freaking hated that. I finally figured it out, but it was freaking so aggravating. Yeah. No, not that. But you flew into this giant cloud bank and you couldn't figure out, north, south, east, or west to save your life. You just had to fuck around with the controller until you finally made it out the other side.
Oh, yeah. The super cloud reef beneath the only area in the game that had no sun or no moon, I should say.
Yeah,
I use
yeah,
suns.
it was brutal. It was brutal. It was one of those I almost rage quit the game kind of things, but the game was too good, so I figured it out. And this was way before you could go online and get any sort of clues. I think, if there was, I didn't have access to it. Around the same time, you'd have to call Sega on the phone to get hints.
I remember that era.
Yeah, it was
1-900. What did I just buy my kid?
Yeah.
What? That's why I play Nintendo, because I always got Nintendo Power. Yeah, that's where they had all that stuff in. Yeah.
Did you have the Power Glove?
I did. I did not have the Power Glove, but I had the little robot that didn't want to
It's so
work.
bad.
We made it. Gyromite is what it was for, and we made it into a 2-player game. One of us controlled the guy, the other one controlled the pipes that would open and close. It was kind of fun that way.
And the main basis I'm making for my game, I don't think I'm going to have an overall, like, here's the storyline and here's the adventure that you have to have. I'm going to do it a little more Palladium style, where here's a bunch of adventures you could have, but most of it's pretty open world. I will have in a future book, like an adventure. I do intend to have a venture book where here's an adventure I could think you could have. But like a lot of games that I do know you could have an overall adventure. The arc of an adventure built directly into the book for this huge campaign, I don't intend to do that. Sorry, I'm getting kind of excited and my words are stumbling over themselves.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I'd rather you be excited about your system than not give a shit.
Yeah.
All right, so give us some more background about the characters that live in this.
Well, pirate. The term, pirate, since they're the most common character you'll find out there, is not a derogatory. It is not directly meant as a criminal term. It is meant as a derogatory term for mercenary, because you're basically Oh, a good example is how Ronin is viewed in Japan. A dog without a master. And which leads to a lot of pirates doing piracy. I mean, I might as well at that point. So I've thought about this, but I don't know how to explain it because within the four primary nations, you have the Red Nation that specializes in ancient tradition and steam. They tend to be found a lot in. They tend to be found with a lot of Arabic and Middle Eastern type cultures because they're the desert people. And blue, I made very Oriental. Like, admittedly, it's kind of almost stolen directly from Skies of Arcadia, but it fits perfectly. They're mostly wind powered. You'll find a lot of industrialism in their cities, but mostly wind powered and still a lot of handmade crafts. Beneath the purple moon, it is almost nothing but magical base. Like, they use refractions. That's the name of the magic in everything. Literally everything. There is nothing that doesn't have some aspect of magic in it. And then there is the yellow people beneath the yellow sun, which is highly industrial, highly electrolyzed. They also have the most advanced ships with having actual metal ships. Usually it's either solid wood or a combination of wood and metal. Someone has a robotic cow, I think.
That's what I heard.
Sorry, my
No
phone.
idea where that cow is.
It's from all my angry viewers. No, my phone went off.
You don't have viewers.
I do too. I got a whole 82 of them.
I stand corrected.
Generally, the Silver Nation is avoided, and anybody from the Silver Nation out in the world is distrusted heavily. Because anybody from that goes to the Silver Nation never returns. Well, no, there are people who do return. In fact, there's a business that specializes in collecting the ships that get abandoned, sitting on the ports of the Silver Cities. But if anybody goes into the Silver City, they never come back out. But what nobody understands, because everybody knows don't go there, people still go there to this very day and never return.
Don't tell us why. That's a surprise.
Well, actually, that's for a future book. I literally intend to go to under each sun. I intend to do a book, and it includes silver. Silver will just be the last one. So you'll eventually find out why people disappear, but that's a whiles off.
So you keep talking about the different suns and stuff. You want to kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm a little lost on that, but go ahead.
Wouldn't that
Arenaria
make the place incredibly hot?
Okay, a bit of a spoiler. They're not suns. They're glowing moons. Okay?
Hey.
But I can't call them moons because they're moons in Skies of Arcadia, so that would be potential plagiarism.
Yeah.
Which I'm already doing bad enough as it is.
Yeah. Well, other than this video, they'd be hard-pressed to prove it.
That is true. But
there's this video, so we can always delete it right afterward.
How dare you make a completely original RPG with strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma as your primary ability scores? How dare you?
That has never been done before.
Ever. Fucking, it broke new ground.
Are there also 4 crystals that we need to?
And
Did you just reference 1993's Draken?
If you push these moons together, do you get a Captain Moon?
I'll shut up. I'm sorry. I was too loud. My neighbors are upset. She's trying to sleep. She had a rough shift at the Ticklish Whisker last night.
Yeah, Connell got a second time out for the night.
Like I get it. Being a stripper is hard, but like she's the one that decided she'd work as a stripper at the Ticklish Whisker. I mean, it was a fun night. I will say that much. It was amputee night, so I mean, it was just like they can't get away.
Better than quarter night.
And chicken wings were half off.
I love quarter night. Instead of making it rain, I make it hail. Okay.
At least you're not giving anybody a concussion by throwing them a roll of quarters.
Strippers Guild. It's going to be painful when they come back at us.
True. Well, at least you don't have the debit card and you slide it down the crack and just take the money out of the G-string. I thought it was an ATM. Okay, so you're talking about the different the different suns and everything else. How do those correlate?
Slight backdrop. The planet itself is in a galaxy so inundated with magic itself. The galaxy actually produces oxygen. The important part of that is the fact that the suns themselves, or moons, absorb that magic and produce it in a single form of power to the planet that is called a refraction. Suns, refractions. Green represents life or creation. Red represents fire and destruction. Blue represents wind and change. Purple represents ice and permanence. Yellow represents lightning and power. Silver represents magic and high technology.
Okay. And Jade has a question for you here. Can I get 6 truths about the setting?
6 truths. About the setting. Honey is the most expensive item on the planet. Period.
What?
All right.
I like that.
No, that means mead's expensive.
Yep.
Cheap booze.
Yeah.
What else you got for us?
You are
Gotta
capable.
be Russian.
A character is capable of making his own, basically through force of will, his own special abilities. I call them hardiums. Like, for example,
just to clarify,
sorry, what?
maybe make it a little, just to clarify, to make it a little easier for you, 6 truths or 6 things all players know,
So
rather than the character.
honey is expensive.
That would be something that would be.
Yeah, honey's a good start.
Oh, yeah. Well, hardium is another one because you need that for your special abilities, because that is, like, for example, because you are on a ship, one of the hardiums I built into the game I call Skywalk or something like that. It creates a cloud directly beneath your feet that you can use to jump in any direction. Good if you fall off the ship.
A Nimbus? We can get a Nimbus.
Only if you're pure at heart.
Pure bad.
Another truth: if you're not prepared for falling off the ship, you're going to die because there is no water.
I plan on falling off the ship. No, I don't.
I plan on staying right here. Nothing bad will happen because I'm planning on it.
Something else all players should definitely know: all engines are powered by sun gems. But even though if the sun gem is removed from the engine, it'll take hours for the ship to fall beneath the clouds.
Okay. So, honey is expensive. Honey is treasure.
Oh yeah.
Like, delicious bastard. Ships are floating in the sky, where if you fall off the boat, there's no coming back, unless you have the ability to put a cloud underneath your feet.
Well, I have other contingencies as well, but yeah.
Okay. Bungee cords. And ships
Yes,
run
actually.
on sun gems.
Yes. Sun
Not
gems
so
are
hot.
well here. Here's a this is definitely a good one for this one. Sun gems, sunstones, and sun fruits are all considered gifts of the sun. They fall from the suns and crash down on the planet. And we'll get into the last one, which is going to be the sun fruits. Sun fruits, when eaten, grant a single unique ability: allow you to turn into an animal, allow you to turn into gas, or in the case of the one that interests Bruce, the ability to buy an item out of thin air.
Nice.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Now, if you eat this fruit, will allow your limbs to just stretch ungodly far.
You know, I can't do it to you.
There
That's
is
not
one.
fair.
Yes, actually, I threw one in the book that can do that.
Gum fruit. The fact that I know that, fuck.
It means you watched a Netflix show once. Congrats.
Or you watched over 1,000 episodes of an anime. Congrats.
Oh, sad. Love it, but sad.
Is it? No, it's not called special nectar. That's still called honey. The reason why honey is so expensive is because there is no mini honeybees. There are 3 hives of what are giant honeybees, and they're the only known honeybees in the world.
Giant honeybees? Okay.
Yes.
No, Bruce, you cannot ride one.
Dude, get out of my head.
Can't ride one of them, and you can't ride a hamster. I'm sorry.
And you can't steal one
All right,
and
I'm
attach it to the
unsubscribing.
ship.
You are a fun sponge. Shut up.
Although, if you find a hamster and its name is Richard Gere, you might be able to ride it.
I don't want to ride Richard Gere. I want Boo, the amazing space hamster.
Yes.
What is
Yes,
a day life of a person on this planet like? Jade, who's not here, is filling in for the questions. Thank you, Jade.
Yes, because I was prepared for questions, not blindly speaking. Honestly, what is a day?
Man, you're gonna have
What
a
is a
rough
day of
go
a
there.
person? Let's see here.
I have no questions.
Soy-based Jeremy, if you don't know who Boo is, you can't comment.
I'll do one for NPCs and one for players. For the NPCs, it can be like the day-to-day life from what we have to all the way back to primitive, because each sun represents a different level of technology. With the green sun, it's primitive hunter-gatherer cultures. They have no unified nation. Under the red under the red sun, they have steam powered, but they haven't quite reached the industrial age yet. They're still almost 90% handmade. Under the blue sun, they are wind powered, but they do have the ability to use industrial technology. Purple is technically just as primitive technologically as the green people, but they make up for that with almost entirely refractions or magic-based technology. And under the yellow sun is actually technology higher than ours. And beneath the silver sun, slight spoiler, you will find technology equal to that of nanite level technology. But nobody knows that because, well, the silver people don't really communicate with the outside world.
And I'm not bashing this. It sounds really cool. But at the same time, I feel like when you're talking about this, that I should have like a deck of cards in my hand with a mana source of different colors: red, yellow, green, blue, purple, silver.
And for
Reverse.
a second, and then you lost me there because I'm like, pick a cards. Oh, not Trump.
I was thinking like our powers combined, we make. Never mind.
I was so
And
happy
then-
that you mentioned magic.
And then we pull out the reverse.
I reverse your reverse.
Skip.
Huh?
Draw four, motherfucker. Go away.
Right. What drives the nations or the peoples who sail the sky?
I'm sorry. What?
What drives the nations
Oh, drives. Okay.
and or the folks who do sail the sky?
Well, for the players, it is hopefully the sense of adventure, because I'm setting it up so you can do domain play, but you have to go back at least once every 6 months to a year to maintain your domain, which means that part of the reason why I set it up is the size of Jupiter. So you could literally go through that process of going so far and coming back and never hit the same spot twice. Like, you always have a fresh adventure for your character. And therefore, what I'd hope would drive the players would be adventure. As for the world, what really drives the world at this particular moment is trade. Everybody has something that the other ones want, because each culture is unlike like modern day where we have everybody can produce the same thing. Every culture is so different that each culture has something that the other wants.
So globalism
So
hasn't
it's-
happened yet. Got it.
But there is a slight upset to this. Interestingly enough, even though this yellow is the most technologically advanced of the 4 primary nations, they are the youngest to be a nation. They were actually at civil war until recently and only became a unified nation recently. And they expanded their trade routes aggressively. And therefore, the other nations are still uneasy, and there is the potential for a war to bust out because of it. So right now it's
There's
trade that drives most everybody, but it's an uneasy trade.
Okay. So does each, kind of expand on that? Does, each nation have, its own interests that they definitely keep in mind besides the trade?
Yes. I haven't gotten quite that far yet, but I do know for a fact that the yellow people, their main focus is expansion. They are trying to grow their territory. Right now, it's not really affecting the others because the planet is so big and they're so far apart. Yellow can expand, and the only thing it's really taking over are mini nations that the other 3 big nations don't care about.
So basically, the more advanced nations really haven't gotten in there to do like subjugation of lesser nations. But when they come across them, what keeps them from doing that?
Nothing. They do it. They either
Okay.
you join our empire or you die.
So
They're expansionists.
So let's say I'm from the yellow tribe, right? And me and a group of people get on a boat and go visit the green tribe. Well, I need workers. So are you saying I can go over there and steal their people and make them workers for the people of the yellow sun?
Slavery is actually one of the higher forms of trade in this game. I'm not shying from it.
Oh. All right.
Right.
There is also a lot of sorry.
I was about to say,
There is
Maggie.
also a lot of indentured servitude, where Like, for example, a Yukonal, if you were to look hard enough, you could probably find a group of people from the Green Nation who would be willing to work off a license to go to the become members of the Yellow Nation.
Interesting.
But slavery, but actual slavery is also there too. It's like, I don't shy from it. It's like, we have one culture that it literally is basically, well, they literally are, not basically, they are hunter-gatherers. And we have three cultures that one still does things by hand, one does things slightly industrious and by hand, one does things purely by magic. They're the only ones that don't have a crap ton of slaves because they don't need them. And we have one that does almost a completely industrious, but they still need workers. So Purple's really the only one that doesn't engage in active slavery, and that's only because they don't need to. But they have slaves in their culture.
Okay. So can you give us an example of a exploration or adventure, something that might lie beyond the unknown?
Something that
For instance, like that, you said that the yellow folks are doing a lot of expansion. What's some of the things they may have discovered during that expansion in the unknown, during that exploration?
Well, this is actually something I was going to write into the book anyway, so it kind of works out. They found a vault of ancient weapons, and ancient weapons are made differently from modern weapons. They usually do not so much more damage, but unanswerable damage. Like, for example, as long as you hit, you're cutting through armor because their metal is superior to ours, which is the reason why ancient weapons are very, very valuable. But the stock they found was only like of 100 ancient swords, so they're only giving them to their admirals. But another thing that they could find is, I wish my camera was working. I have a couple things here, example that I'm going to be using in the game that are basically ancient abominations, combinations of man, monstrosity, and machine that still work.
So, like old artifacts and war machines and such, or what?
Yeah, artifacts, war machines, along with just simple like temples. Like, no one knows what a lot of these ancient temples, like, they're obviously temples just by their iconography and what's in them, but nobody knows what they're for. And then there's buildings that they find that literally no reason for them in the modern context exists.
Okay. What does religion look like on the planet?
There pretty much isn't any. What little religion there is basically sun worshippers, which is the Sun Kin. They've basically learned as long as they do the right kind of ritual or worship the sun on a daily basis, without being born refractionists, they can use refractions to a lesser degree to the refractionist. The refractionist has the ability of Mage the Ascension type magic. Everyone else can only use a pre-existing single color, where refractionists can actually use multiple colors. Now, I'd have to look at my character sheet. I believe that the Sunkin cannot use multiple colors, but they can make up their own refractions from the colors that they have access to. Because
Hey,
each
TCG, I
person
got a
is
couple
born with,
questions.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
go ahead and finish with what you're doing.
Okay. Each person is born with a particular set of colors within their body that determines what kind of refractions and even what kind of hardium that they'll lean towards using. There is no restrictions like, oh, you have to use a red hardium or something like that, because there is no like colors in the hardiums. But if you have a red refraction in your body, chances are you're going to lean towards a fire-based hardium, because that's kind of your thing. But in refractions, you can learn a refraction but it has to pre-exist, meaning it has to be something that the refractionist or the Sunkin made or is out of the book, and it has to be one of the colors you possess in your body.
Interesting.
So, with in talking about that, are there like artificial limbs or anything else like that that can be attuned to
Yes.
things that you don't have?
Yes.
I got this leg, and it's got a red gem in it.
Now, could I play a raccoon that likes to go steal other people's limbs?
There's only humans in this game.
Oh, there goes that demographic.
Okay, PCG.
Yeah.
Okay, how does the game function as getting a party together? I'm getting the impression that they're all the crew of a ship, or they're pretty much going to be stuck in a town or a city of some sort. Is that kind of what you're leading toward?
Yeah, I haven't written it in yet, but the main starting idea I was going to suggest is they're all crew members aboard a ship, because eventually the pirate and the sailor, which are both the sailor's can only be in a navy. He can't be freelance like a pirate can.
Okay, then
Both
who would
get the
own the
ability to be a
ship?
captain. Technically, you're not supposed to start off as somebody who owns the ship. You're supposed to start off as members aboard a crew. The
Okay, you
GM
mentioned
starts
earlier. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
The
You mentioned
GM
earlier-
starts off as the quote unquote.
How the people found this cache of weapons, and they were so awesome, and they went all to the admirals, which meant whoever was on the ship, they got dick out of the treasure, and they gave the best and mailed it off to different people all over the freaking country to give to the higher ups. Where's the motivation for the players to not, basically be doing somebody else's dirty work and getting shit pay?
Matey. You do it the honest way.
Well, if you're not captain of the ship, and you're the lowest rung on the ladder because you just came on board, your first level, etc. How long is it going to be before you start seeing some spoils, in a campaign? Or do you have to basically steal from the party and or the captain and pocket the shit and not tell anybody?
Well, as the example I gave for the people, that was a navy, like an actual legitimate navy. So that was following orders, and they get paid based on being part of the navy. And if you're not a good soldier, you get executed. But as if a pirate group found that, it would be, I'm going to encourage for the GM to be like, hey, you're part of a pirate crew. Everything gets divided equally. That's how you pay your crew, unless you're a jackass and want your crew to eventually revolt against you.
Well, because I've been in campaigns like that where the parties did all the grunt work, and then they bring all the treasure back aboard the ship, and then the captain starts handing it out to basically everybody but the crew or the party that actually went and got the stuff. It's not like a finders keepers. You find it, you keep it kind of situation. It's like, well, I found this cool sword, but chances are I'm never going to get to use it outside this dungeon because the captain's going to take it.
Well, sucks to be you. You're not the captain or the first mate or the sergeant of arms or the quartermaster. You're some schmuck you picked up at the port. Earn your keep, not bitching.
And why would you ever, volunteer for that if just by sitting on board, you're still going to get the same share?
Freedom.
That's why the captain prestige rank is unlockable early for pirates. Every single OCC except the pirate and the sailor has to wait until rank 3, level 30, before they can start playing domain play. The pirate gets to do it at level 15, same with the sailor, for that exact reason. Like, okay, we don't like how the DM is being captain. Okay, I'm fine at level 15. Hey, guys, you want to help me buy a ship and we'll start doing our own thing? Hell yeah,
I like,
let's get away from the GM as captain.
I like this
Um,
ship. Let's
you
just
got a
let it-
paywall there for domain play. Bruce no likey.
I like
You don't.
Milo.
Well, you don't. Well, I'm making you buy your own ship. You're not getting a ship for free, but you can hire crew. You don't have to. You don't have to like pay off people to get the crew. Like, hey, you get paid when I get paid type thing. And under most of them, you get your followers for free. It's just I don't. The ships are meant to be expensive, and especially if you're getting a custom ship, I don't think you should get that for free.
What if you like the ship that you're on and you just don't like your captain?
Then you just mutiny. Literally, I mean that is part of the rules of the game. You can mutiny.
Well, paint me Mel Gibson and you, Sir Anthony Hopkins, because we know how this is going to go.
Hi, looks like you've got a couple questions burning there for you.
Oh no, you got you hit it with the comment of what keeps me like. I heard you can't do domain play until you're of sufficiently high level, which almost sounds like end game level when you finally get freedom. But I'm like, but what keeps me from at level 5 sneaking up in the middle of the night, passing some coin off to the sergeant at arms, walking in, sneaking into the captain's quarters, and doing a little bit of aggressive Klingon promoting of myself.
Just because it's literally just because you automatically can at certain levels doesn't mean you can only at certain levels. Straight up, if there's a mutiny and you want a level 5 to be captain, the level 5 is now captain.
I understand. Okay, cool. I like, because I have no problem. Like, I understand buying a brand new ship is expensive. I played a lot of airships / sci-fi games / I have notes if you want to know how expensive it is to maintain a ship of the line. So, I mean, feeding and maintaining a dreadnought is expensive. So
yeah.
So how many ways do we have to make money? Because obviously money is the most important thing in the universe here. In fact, to the point where I know, because you mentioned trade, and while there's all these cool cultures and things, unless there's a culture of a bunch of people with no taste buds, but they like spicy garbage, and a bunch of people who go, spice bad, but idiots buy spice, so I conquer your country because you got spice. Do you put it in our own food? No, that's for savages. We don't eat that crap, but we sell it to people. So, do we have a very complex trade network that I can actually look at and figure out the optimal trade routes and where to steal the ship and head off to go do my
Joker's crook.
China tickler routes, because I will happily go. Do you want to do adventure? No, the profit margin this time of year is a whole. Over here, there's X product and Y product wants it, but adventure profit, adventure profit, at profit margin. But we could do things that involve adventure, and the Spacey Guild says, "Go fuck yourself. We're making money."
So Kai's our quartermaster.
No. He pulls out his spreadsheet. This says we do profit.
Profit, motherfucker. We're doing it. We're doing this. And I know there's like all this cool magic swords and stuff and cool magic. And trust me, the moment you said Mage the Ascension thing, my brain was like, so what are the spheres? What Arete do I need to be able to do the effects I need to do? And when can I do a bunch of garbage spice and then fold space? That's all I care about at this point.
Trade. Correspondent.
I correspondence 5. I will fucking warp. I will warp space and time. I don't care if I turn into a weird mutant. Weird mutant in a glass tube. I don't care. Folding space.
Well, as for the trade, I haven't written anything directly down yet, but yeah, the idea of a entirely trade-based campaign, not outside the realm of possibility at all. In fact, it's very feasible. I'm setting it up that trade is, well, like for example, if you read through the selection of items you can purchase, that is a general price purchase, and a lot of them have a lot of varying prices, like spices. Those are worth a lot. And an excellent example of, like you were talking about trade, about you would do a trade for your character. Before I even heard that, I had already thought of the fact that your guys' campaign starts under, like, the little thing I'm doing for this is basically starts under that. The captain, since chances are I'm the one who's going to be doing the captain, hold on a second, is doing, we're bringing in 3 barrels of honey from someplace else. And though the ship is technically being paid off because it was a loan that we got for the ship, you guys are still getting a whole bunch of money from the honey, and you're being sent off technically on an adventure, but on an adventure that's specifically meant to increase your trade potential for the future.
Cool.
And that's the point we mutiny and take over the ship. Now we have honey.
Now, all of this is predicated on the idea that now I would like to also do cool adventures and on the high seas and make friends from enemies because through the power of being an awesome person. But if I'm told that money is what makes the world go round, friendship goes out the window, money. So it's one of those things where if you want high adventure, take the emphasis off cash. But if we're constantly reminded that, so you want to go on an adventure, yeah, you need to pay approximately a 500 gold piece a month for restocking fees for food and the crew. If you need to spend also extra money or X amount of cash to maintain the ship's drive and hull, here's your fuel costs. And at that point, cash becomes the only thing that matters because I want freedom, but freedom costs money. And unfortunately, I need more money. And if piracy isn't an option, trade has to become the only thing I care about. So I would like adventure. So having the I need money to adventure means I have to make money. And make money means no adventure. Money, I don't want to be a mundane spreadsheet driver. I quit EVE Online for that.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that game in forever.
It's still there. It's still evil, and they just included Excel integration. So now it really is flying spreadsheets. It's the best thing.
Okay, so along those lines of doing like a trade type, campaign, what makes that different than like a traveler, type game, and where you're doing the traveler trade type stuff as opposed to this?
Well, as Kai was saying, you got to maintain your ship and all that. I was going to be setting it up that you don't have to maintain your ship like constantly. It's like mostly after battles. Oh, you took some damage, you better repair. Fuel costs, there is no technical fuel. Once you put a sun gem in, as long as the sun gem is undamaged or not removed, the ship will go forever. And food, it's meant to be kind of abstract. Oh, I buy 3 months worth of food. That's, we'll say $1,000 a month worth of food. Voila, you got all the food you need. And of course, there is the fact that you're supposed to be able to fish while you're out there, so you don't need to constantly be filling up your stocks.
Right.
As long as there's an easy way to make 5,000 to make 1,000 gold a month, a cycle, cool.
Yeah,
cool. I could put away my spreadsheets and go on an adventure.
Yeah, like well, next, like I'm not going to spoil it, but when you go off on your second part of the adventure that I send you on, you'll be going out specifically to fetch known resources that are known to be valuable. So it's along the lines of trade, but it's also a bit of an adventure on the same hand.
Okay, well, you
Because
said
these
that
are living,
they're
living resources.
okay. So, well, you said that you can fish. This is all taking place in the sky. Do we ever land on the
Yes.
planet, or is it like actually on the ground?
Yes.
You can actually land.
There's islands. Well, most ships don't land. You either fly down on a small shuttle or climb down on ropes. But
Okay.
yeah, there's islands, and there's one of the books I intend to cover eventually is it talks about the fact that there are continents so large you can go an entire adventure without ever having to get aboard a skyship.
Okay. So, while you're on the skyship, since that seems to be where it's kind of geared toward,
Yes.
what kind of monsters, environments that you'll actually like come across with this?
One of the things I love is giant insects, so that's one of the common things you'll be having to deal with. And once most insects reach a certain size, they stop being afraid of humans. And there are ship-sized insects. That's why I use the term in the book instead of a ship-to-ship combat, ship-sized combat.
Okay.
And there are also there are other things out there like ship-sized fish. There are human-sized fish. Like well, it's a
Tuna.
kind of a small. It's kind of a small spoiler, but what you guys are going for on the island that you're going to be going for on the adventure that I'm sending you through tomorrow will actually be you're catching fish large enough to ride, and they're worth.
What is
Right, I'd
second?
have to look, but
You
they're worth
said
a fair
playing
amount.
tomorrow?
He meant next week.
Not tomorrow. Next week. Sorry.
week.
Okay,
Sorry.
just checking. Yeah, I got another previous engagement tomorrow.
Getting excited. I have a cold, so I got medication in my system.
That's okay, no problem. So do these fish actually do a lot of them attack the ship?
Oh, giant-sized fish
Yeah.
aren't as known for attacking ships. Giant-sized insects are.
Okay. So, are there any, like tornadoes or anything else like that need to be like, or like big storms? You're talking about Jupiter. I keep thinking of the big, red storm, on Jupiter. Is there something like that that's going around the planet, or?
Storms do build up, but there are also massive flying stone reef barriers, cloud reef barriers, and actual just sheer stone walls that usually cut down on these storms. The world isn't divided like in sections, but these reefs can sometimes cross almost the entire planet. So it's
okay.
Imagine if someone drained the Great Barrier Reef, where they have all these different ways it grows out in different sizes and shapes and all that. Imagine something kind of like that, just world scale.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to watch every pirate movie that Disney has not made before we start doing this. Because as much as I like Johnny Depp, I don't think that's the feel for this.
No, a good example of a pirate movie that I thought of really heavily for this, like it inspired a lot of this movie, was Cutthroat Island. Or a lot of this
Good
game
movie.
is Cutthroat
Good
Island.
movie. Very, very good movie.
That movie is such a shame that movie destroyed an entire fucking movie house because they threw $60 million of debt at that film, and there was no way for it to financially recoup and make money. But that was Carol Co. One of the great mistakes of the 90s.
Yeah, Ice Pirate Sunday. Oh yeah.
Wait, you're doing Ice Pirates too?
No, but I am now. Not this Sunday. I've got my own show. I got rewatch.
Sunday we're watching Ice Pirates in my Discord, and then Monday night we're talking about it.
Yeah, I might have to. I will have to make some time to get that going. I no, this sounds incredibly fun. I know. Now knowing the information you gave us, the class I picked was a God. I don't know how I'm going to play this. I didn't know exactly how I was going to play this beforehand, but now, fuck, was going to be a paladin. And
Well, paladin type.
A paladin type. Now, paladins, for the most part, have a huge, I mean, bulging, huge lance shoved up their ass.
Huge.
Paladins.
I describe these guys as being more of a party type person. They prefer to use refractions and hardium that enhance that give them their group better abilities. As for being a stick up their ass,
yeah.
I have set up the alignments, quote unquote, as you can you have four you have four reactions. Your reaction to death, your reaction to pain and suffering, your reaction to theft, and your reaction to lying.
Okay. So, okay.
So if you want, you could make him a stick in the. You could put a stick up your character.
Oh no, I'm not. I mean,
A go stick.
Yeah. I think I will run him with having a few moral hiccups, but not, I Judge Dredd.
I'm the law.
I am the law.
Talk about movies that need to be remade, and boy, did they remake it well. All right. Yeah, I know, Jade. You can't bitch at me for playing a paladin. You're not going to be there. I will hear from you privately, but you can't do it here.
It's okay, Jade. I'll
No, you heard him. You heard him earlier. There's only one really god out there. The rest of the DDs took the week off.
You should be in hog heaven then.
You're only in trouble if you get caught. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen.
I never get caught, so I'm never in trouble.
Hey, is that Christopher Hansen behind you there, Shadow?
Is that what?
Christopher Hansen.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Okay, so you said humans are the only race on this planet, correct?
Yes.
What? I want to be a monkey.
So what are the rumors of the older races from caches that are found, etc., that have been found up to this point that would be kind of common knowledge?
It is believed that what has been found comes from other humans, because everything is human shaped, human sized. When you do find anything that's not, it usually is obviously belonged to a construct of some kind, because the construct isn't too far away or it's too heavy for a human to have ever possibly lifted.
Aliens. Okay. With the trade and whatnot, how easy is it to be like a freelance trader, to be able to trade with whomever, or are there certain you're only allowed to trade with one nation and not another nation? Restrictions that are basically put on there for trade wise.
Usually the only restrictions are on individual items, not if you could trade with certain people. It's very, very hard with the size of the world to maintain like perfect deals. or independent deals because you can only deal with you ever again. Okay. There's like thousands of mini nations that literally have nowhere near the power as you do, but they aren't going to have the same restrictions. So I'll just go deal with them and not you. Bye.
Is it more of a first come first serve? Hypothetically, let's say we have a cargo of bananas. Let's just use fruit.
Yeah.
And there's another guy.
Rude?
Food, bananas.
Oh, okay.
And there's another guy, another NPC character that we're bumping heads with for storyline bumping heads, and he's trying to get into the same dock as we are. Is it one of the first come first serve? Yes, you have bananas, but he has bananas and he came first, or is it like a locked in contract type deal?
Well, if you do actually have a contract with them, obviously contract comes first, but most of the time it's first come first serve. Like usually, if you have a contract, it's because JV.
All right. So, all right.
Freelancers are meant to be a huge part of this.
I mean, we've kind of got an idea now of kind of like the world and kind of some of the things that are out there. The next thing, basically for going forward here, let's look at more of the the mechanics. Like for instance, you said that they're able to do things with the spells or whatever, the abilities that are gotten from the fruit and all that. Like how would those translate, and what do those kind of look like with the in like maybe a battle type situation, as opposed to a non encounter type situation?
Okay, well, I'll talk about all three: the refractions, hardium, and sunfruit. Starting with refractions. Okay. In the case of refractions, they are considered an aspect of light. That's the reason why they're called that. And most time it comes from the palm of your hand, but it is definitely an internal thing. So I do have the rule. You can wear gloves, but your gloves have to have holes in them so light can sink through. But in general, you don't want to wear gloves. At the very least, you want to let your hand be visible. But what that would look like in battle is, well, outside. Yeah, we'll start with in battle. In battle, refractions are instantaneous, unless they state otherwise. Like I actually have something called the Silver Spear, which is something I think Kai would definitely appreciate. I believe it's Kai anyway. You shoot it at somebody, it sticks into them, doing X damage, and then if they try to move, even if they succeed or fail at removing it, they receive even more damage from it. So it's a pinning spell. Outside of combat, though, that takes a few minutes to cast. Because refraction, because there is what I call in-battle focus. Outside of battle, you don't have that same focus. You can't just cast something instantaneously. Your life has to be basically in danger for you to have the adrenaline, for lack of a better term, to cast something instantly. Same thing goes for hardium. Hardium does not have the same abilities as refractions. Refractions have more magical quality to them, therefore they can be a little more flexible, where hardium is more of a force of will. So it can be, it's really a one-trick pony type ability. Like, for example, I can create want to create a weapon. One of the hardium I created was a distance attack called Shockwave. Even if you upgrade it past that, it overall is just going to be something that you can use to hit somebody at a distance with, and not much more. But you could get creative with your base idea for your hardium, because you are supposed to make it up. The hardium is definitely where you are supposed to make things up for your character. Because that's one of the things I always hated in games is, oh, we got like 1,000 spells, but absolutely no concept of you being able to make your own. That sucks.
And how do you go about making your own?
You discuss with the GM what you want your hardium to be, and the GM does have final say as to how powerful it is, and therefore, like, hey Kai, can you think of something off the top of your head you'd like your character to do?
I'm the one who's using the weave swords, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm already more awesome than everyone else in the party. I don't need to do anything else. I have 3 swords. What do I care?
Do you put one in your mouth?
Eventually, actually, no. I plan on juggling that bitch. It's a dancing sword? No, I just fucking stab, slash, grab, stab, slash.
So hypothetically, let's say I'm a spellcaster, right? And you're saying I can come up with my own spell. So I want to, I don't know, make a spell that puts a bubble of air around my head, air bubble.
Okay.
I can just, this is what I want, or I want, tell them what the spell does. I have the fractals or whatever. I'm sorry about that. And the knowledge on how to create a spell. I tell the DM, hey, in this case scenario, I wish to put a air bubble around mine and my teammate and my party's head. Is that something? Is that what you're kind of talking about, or am I just missing the boat?
I didn't talk about it quite clear enough. I realize that's my fault. What a character does for learning new Hardium is the rule of 6. 6 times outside of battle, 6 times inside of battle. When you first learn, like that air bubble, I like it. I liked it as the way you described it. So it's like, since you want to make it big enough to put around your entire party at once, I'm going to say that's going to cost you 15 focus points, which is what you get per level. You get 10 per level, but you get those per level. And I'd say 25 spirit focus for that's what that's shared mana pool in battle.
Right.
And yeah, I'd say 15 for the initial cost, 25 for when you want to cast it inside of battle, but you have to cast it 6 times outside of battle first. And then you have to cast it 3 times inside of battle. It'll each character gets 3 actions. Unlike Palladium, you only get 3, period. You have to cast it first 3 times you cast it in battle, it costs all 3 of your actions. And the next 3 times it costs you, and you cast it in battle, it costs you 2 of your actions. And from the 7th casting on, it costs you 1 action.
Okay.
So it's as a refined learning how to optimize the spell, essentially. Optimize casting.
Not a bad idea.
Can you hear me?
So
Yeah.
No, we hear you just fine.
And
we
mic
kind of
freaked out a little bit.
Oh, okay. But we kind of got off because you didn't talk about the third portion there, which was the sun fruit.
Sun fruits. There are 3 basic categories to the sun fruit: animal, animal, element, and ability. In the animal fruit category, I only have 4 of each category, but you could literally steal from the devil fruit offline for this if you wanted to. I pretty much did. In the devil fruit, actually, the captain of the ship has one of the devil fruits. He's got a bird fruit. So we'll come to him first. Is the fact that one of the things I actually gave him is basically the ability to do harpy feather attack, which is throw feathers at people. Like, I could see that being a bird-based ability. And once again, this is another one where you're encouraged to come up with your own things, but there is a cost to sun fruits. If you eat a sun fruit, you lose all your hardium and refraction abilities. You can no longer use either of those, and that happens at any level. So if you have like a crap ton of refractions and you're a refractionist, well, even a refractionist, you don't want to eat these fruits because it'll still take your refractions from you. You are no longer a refractionist at that point. But even if you're like level, you're at max level, you eat one of these fruits, you lose all your abilities, and you slowly over time regain all the points that you lost, basically. But it's going to take you time to regain all that. If you're lower level and you do this, you regain an additional, I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's additional 5 per level until you regain all the lost points. But you don't just get them all back immediately. So it's always good to get a sun fruit early on if you can, which is part of the reason for creation you can actually have a sun fruit. But and then part of the elemental sun fruits, I have either given you solid forms or gaseous forms. Like, for example, I did add the gum fruit. It's basically called the rubber fruit. You turn into a rubber man. I also have the diamond fruit. I also have the cloud fruit, and I forgot what the other one was, but two of the fruits give you flying. Fire, yeah. Flying. Fire and cloud give you the ability to fly. Also makes you immune to a lot of damage. Like, most physical attacks don't damage you. It has to be an energy-based attack. So if you like put lightning onto your sword, that will do damage because it has an energy basis to it. But like, if you just use a simple enchanted weapon and all it is like extra sharp edge, it won't do anything. When you're in when you're one of the fire or cloud fruit. And then you have the ability fruit, which is, like I described before, the one of the most OP fruits that in the index for the double fruit index is the store fruit. You can literally purchase anything for a price. Yes, Kai?
Okay, this sounds all really cool and awesome between magical fun and super powered fruit and stuff. But what about the poor people who don't have anything besides, who don't have the ability to call down the fire of the gods magically and make things magically appear, or punch someone 40 feet away because they have a rubber band fist, or shoot magic feathers? Hopefully there's something as cool for, those whose entire thing is, I'm here to kick people really cool and not get my hands dirty, or stab people really, really good. So because if most of us just stand around waiting for the cool guys with all the cool, awesome powers to be really, really awesome, and then wait for something to come to us, because we don't have Nimbus's flying powers or the ability to teleport. Some of us have to wait for the adventure to come to us. So that
that's where
otherwise you're gonna have a few of us standing around holding a sign to the dragon saying, "Get the fuck down here, you bastard!" because we were waiting for it to land for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, Garrett? That's where two Hardium abilities I put into the game that's meant to be like a suggestion. I nearly need to get that shirt. I keep forgetting to.
No, you don't need that shirt. There's another one of Hungar's shirt you need.
I like the.
No, I'd get that one for my sister.
Navigator. Pepe the Navigator is fucking amazing. I'm going to be ordering that next week.
That's another one I need to get. But the two abilities that I built into the game, and I'll probably try to come up with more, is number one, the one I mentioned earlier, where you can actually shockwave. It's a distance attack meant for any type of weapon that's obviously not already ranged, like a pistol. Which swordsmen are not forbidden from using pistols. It is one of their weapon proficiencies they can take. And the other one is I once again stole from One Piece, Flash Step. You can move anywhere within 60 feet in a single action.
Cool. I'll get to relive I'm going to live out my Bleach Shinigami dreams of having Getsuga show and Flash Step, because that's what everyone uses all the time.
No. I want to get the berry that allows me to kick people in the crotch 1,000 times.
Look, if I've learned anything from watching shonen anime, is that all you need is Getsuga show. all you need. Because what? They ain't coming anywhere near me. Shockwave slash. Oh, sorry, that's that's Inuyasha. Or Getsuga Taisho, or I slashed, or air slash, razor slash, slashy slash that causes a range attack. Yep, my sword cuts the air and cuts you. I'm okay with that. And flash step is pretty always, eventually that can be probably refined to pretty much just walking on air and doing the full bleach bullshit.
Oh my!
I'm sorry, I've got a sip
Yes,
for my buddy
hockey
Hungar.
powers. Hockey powers are definitely awesome. Yes!
All right, I'll stop.
All right. So yeah, this kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of some of the stuff he's talking about. This is based off the PDF that he did send to us, so we kind of had an idea of what was going on. Now, one thing that the little bird in our ear had in there was to how does a round of battle look, and how does that play out?
A round of human-sized combat is 6 seconds, and a round of ship-sized combat is 12 seconds. How does it? Well, thanks to Kai, it looks a lot more dynamic than it used to. Admittedly, it used to just be two guys hitting each other with a stick. That's exactly how Kai describes it, and I have to agree. Like, it was just simple. I attack, you attack, I can dodge, I can parry, and that was it.
Woo!
Kai made it so... Kai's suggestion made it so you can actually not only parry, if you successfully parry, you can perform a counter strike. Everybody gets two per turn, and they can use extra actions to perform extra counterattacks if they want, except the swordsman, which gets 6 counterattacks per round, and the sunkin, or the paladin, which gets 4 counterstrikes per round. And then Kai turned around and simply asked, hey, can I do something with all these counterattacks per round? Like defend people? So yeah, as long as someone's within your area of movement, and that includes within flash step movement, you can defend somebody you can parry an attack to counter somebody. You can parry an attack aimed at somebody else and perform a counter strike. But you do have to parry before the other player has rolled to see if they're parrying or dodging. Or before they parry or dodge it, I should say.
Now, Green Apple had asked what system this will be. Green Apple, sorry about that. We got preempted by Hungar, so which is not a problem. We love Hungar. But the system is actually the one that the Crafting Gamer has come up with, that he's writing the rules for. We're kind of doing the alpha test right now, just to help flesh out some things and see how bad we can break it. How good we can play it, and kind of go from there. So it's kind of his work in progress. It's kind of his little baby, kind of like what Bruce has got going with his game. We're taking Crafting Gamer's game that he's been working on, and we figure we'll give it a little shakedown cruise, see what happens.
Yeah, and it's not based off any one system. It's kind of a Frankenstein monster.
Feed my Frankenstein. So, with this being said, you've mentioned a couple of classes there. What other classes are there available?
We have the pirate, the ship, the sailor. Basically the same thing. One's just freelance. One's part of a navy. We have the. Hold on a second. I'll try to remember when I actually have the book. Let's see here. The marksman, which is basically the sniper. The chef. The shipwright. The swordsman. The sunkin or paladin. And the refractionist or the wizard. I'm currently working on a ninth one, the Sinister, which is basically meant to be a bard type character.
Okay. So and each of them have their own
Yes.
things, I'm assuming.
Yes, the marksman, when using a rifle, and the target is over 100 feet away, will not suffer minuses. Like, for example, if the ship's rocking, oh, that's a -6. Not for this marksman. He gets a plus up to a maximum of +3. He gets that plus no matter how bad the ship is rocking or any minuses like that. Other bonuses will be minused, but he gets that. I know how to deal with this ship bonus at the very least. The chef obviously gets not obviously. The chef gives you bonuses towards pretty much anything based off the meal they cooked. The GM and the player negotiate what kind of bonuses and how long they last.
Okay. It looks like they all get skills and whatnot along with those.
Oh yes, they all get skills, skill sets, hobbies, or in Palladium secondary skills. And not all, but some of them also get hardiums or refractions as part of their first set, but not all of them. Like the shipwright here, he doesn't get any refractions or hardiums to start off with, but that's because they don't interest him. The shipwright is basically the tinkerer, or as you said, the artificer. When you first I want to play that.
Yes, I'm playing the shipwright, and maybe just a little bit of a spoiler. I think the only thing that's left of his actual body is his brain at this point. If we talked about that correctly.
It should say somewhere in here at rank that when you choose to be cyborg, you get to roll 2d4, I believe it is, to see how many cybernetic parts you have. And that's just to begin with.
Yeah.
And that's just the beginning. Like you can actually have your entire body changed out as long as your brain is still intact. You could be 100% cyborg. That's the only rule I have. Your brain must remain intact.
Rank 3, shipwright is a cyborg. The player may choose for the character to become either a legendary cyborg or a chop shop head. So there's only 3 levels to this then, or 3 ranks?
No, there's 3 ranks. There's 45 levels, 15 levels per rank.
Okay. And how easy are levels to come by?
Levels are meant to be 100 experience per level, no matter how high the level is, and you're supposed to get experience at 5 to 10 per level. But it specifically says in the book, you are welcome to adjust the amount of experience or the level of.
Oh no! He ran out of experience points.
No. Oh, please. And we're hoping he'll pop right back in. There he is.
How long were you talking before you realized you weren't with us?
2-3 seconds.
Back with us?
No.
Sometimes he has issues when he goes out and comes back in, so we'll bear with him for a second.
I still hear you.
Okay, there you are.
Were you cussing?
Yeah.
I feel like somebody should be cussing.
The experience is meant to be very moldable as to how quickly you level up. Because, for example, you do have the 45 levels, and there are people who are like, well, that's going to take you forever to get to prestige rank, get you to prestige or a domain rank, which is rank 3. that's where it's like, okay, well, you want to get to domain rank 3 faster, then just give out more experience. It's only 100 experience per level. Or if you vice versa, people who are like, oh, I want to level up very slow. All right, then just make the experience go up 100 per level, and you'll level up even slower. You're in the refractions.
Yeah.
Each refraction is separated by color and then organized by a letter.
Yeah, so like for green, grow plants, healing light, wood rot, poison or cure. I think that's supposed to be cure poison toxin.
Yeah, I can't spell, so I use voice to word. So if anything's misspelled, it's not my fault.
I completely understand. Spelling has not always been my best friend.
So yeah, it goes into much more detail here and everything else. I'm just kind of highlighting some of the stuff, like animate object,
ride the lightning. Yeah, get your engine running.
Yeah. Hey, isn't that
one's actually very useful.
It feels like we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something funny about that though. You can ride lightning straight into a wall and commit suicide. So be careful when you come out on the other end.
Yeah. Note, the caster can ride lightning straight into a wall and instantly unalive himself.
Yep.
That's no way I'm going to go out. This is going to feel really awesome for the first 5 seconds. It's really going to suck.
Yeah, there's the silver spear you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So for casting outside of battle, it takes longer, you said, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That is because it takes it's the equivalent of building up the energy instead of just having it there to immediately access it.
There's the hydrums. So you've got a battle stance, cloud walk, crushing blow, flash step, eyes of the Zarg.
Yeah, I forgot what that one does. Oh yeah, that's a sniper. That's a sniper hardium.
Yeah.
Is there an illusion-based one?
I didn't think of one, but there could very well be. Yeah.
Because I would
have
love
perfect
to
come down twice.
I would love to combine being a sword master with an illusionist at the same time.
Oh God!
I could think of some amazing, horrible things I can do.
So yeah,
it's really not out. It's illusion. See, wobble, wobble, wobble. Oh, cool. Stab. Wait, your sword wasn't out. Yeah, well.
Man, I thought I was going to cut you in half with that strike. I went a little too shallow. That's a shame.
Now I do like this, that you can't cherry pick what you want. It's actually a roll on the sun fruit with the species and then the elements and
yeah, you can either do a category roll or a straight up roll where you roll just straight up and
How rare are these sun fruits?
Rare enough that not every character is supposed to have one, but there are thousands throughout the planet.
Sorry, Shadow, you're out. You said
Hey, I'm going to be up in the crow's nest anyways. Don't worry about it.
So do you want to explain the tributes? It doesn't look like these are normal
tribute. It's supposed to say attributes.
Or attributes, I mean. These are our normal attributes here.
No, they're based heavily off of Palladium. IQ is obviously your intelligence. MC, mental constitution. MP, mental prowess. or no, mental perception. No, that is mental prowess. It's either mental perception or mental prowess. I think it's mental perception, physical strength, physical constitution, and mental awareness. Physical awareness. There. And speed. And luck. I keep forgetting about luck, but that's because that's an optional one.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like it's mental perception, physical strength, physical constitution, physical awareness, and then of course speed and luck. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, and each of them can grant bonuses if you have a high enough number. But this is where something like, hey, Jade, you still watching? Because this is the part where you're probably going to kick yourself in the butt when you found out, hey, or when you heard, when you decided to have me make characters for you, when you read this, and it says, if you, to roll your attributes, you start with 21, roll 3d6, and minus whatever number from your attribute. And that's your attribute number.
Well, you get 21. You roll 3d6. So let's say I rolled an 18. So
You would, your attribute would be 3.
fuck my life. Yeah, Jade, this is a game for you. This is a roll low. At least when it comes to that, you're going to be a rock star.
It's all roll low.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be magnificento.
Yes.
Fuck. Can I get you to make my character? Because I can't roll low on principle.
His dice
I already
refuse.
made the characters.
All right. You made the characters. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's I think that's the reason why Baron invited me. The main reason Baron invited me to the TableBreakers Discord is so I could put the characters there instead of putting them in regular Discord. So you guys could actually find them.
This is true.
Oh my god.
That way they're all in one spot.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly.
I got 21. I'm roll 3d6. Ones. Don't you want higher than ones? No, I want ones. What? Yeah. Roll 3d6 and forget the first 2. All right. Woohoo! Yeah.
So artillery, I like that. There's actual artillery weapons.
Yeah, that's your shit's cannons.
Guns. Wait. Pistols. I could be a
Hammer, knife,
I could
katana.
be a that shoots people.
Yes, I believe that is actually part of the weapon provisions you can have.
Woohoo! Giggity, boom.
And of course, the general things.
Yeah.
One thing that I would suggest, and this is just a suggestion for you to write down for later, is have a adventure, I would say like a sailor's pack, which would cover your pirates and all that, and basically for like equipment wise. Most of the time we do most of us will set up and go, okay, for 15 gold pieces, this is out of your starting money. This is, you buy this pack and then boom, yes.
Standard adventure gear.
I forgot to mention that you actually have starting equipment that you do get automatically. You don't have to pay for it, and some starting savings.
Wait. You're missing something from this list I have yet to see.
What's that?
There's no pitons.
Where is the rum?
Hold on a second. He isn't in that section yet.
Okay.
Edibles.
Is there tobacco?
Yes.
Wait. Hold on. I found the rum.
Yes.
He's in the alcohol section.
Okay,
See how much
rum.
meat
It
is?
actually,
Damn it, going up too fast. I want to see rum, mead, alcohol,
damn.
That's
Look at that's the fine mead.
well, considering you need honey to make mead, I can understand why. Yeah, it being expensive makes sense.
Tobacco, soap, wax,
glue.
Now, see, I would say that should be higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I changed that. I changed that in a later book.
Okay.
Well, later
Well,
version
I'm
of
just
the book.
saying because if honey's that expensive, that means it'd be the kind of the equivalent for wax.
That's a
Well, don't forget
nice-
that's also per ounce, not per pound.
Yeah.
That's still some expensive. I mean, I get the honey being expensive. I get the meat being that expensive. Holy shit. The wax,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you get the only place you can get the beeswax is from the bees, where you get the honey and the.
Well, unless you're a Shrek fan.
And just a little bit lower is an explanation to some of the items that are unique to this game,
Okay, so a
and
world
as to why
compass,
honey is so expensive.
world compass determines north from south and east from west. So it's only got general navigation. Okay. An island compass detects the magnetic pole of individual islands, which will lead you to the closest / strongest island magnetics. So actually, if you find a small island that's near a bunch of large islands, you could literally be hidden.
Yep.
Yeah.
Milk bud is a plant that, when boiled, produces a substance that acts exactly like cow's milk. Okay.
Mostly fed to cows. And there are cows in this game.
Mm,
And of course, the explanation I've already given about honey.
yeah.
They sound angrier than hornets.
Oh no! Not the murder hornets.
Wasps, they have no purpose besides fucking your shit up.
Yeah, I'll
And then
agree
they
with that.
go and recruit the ladybugs, and they go recruit the dragonflies. There's an actual game that has been out lately that keeps hitting my feed for the you're building a colony of bees basically, and that you get attacked by the hornets or the wasp.
Because wasps bring other assholes. Just
Yes.
This is really, really well laid out.
I definitely agree. The way he has this definitely laid out, especially for kind of like a starter pack, which is basically like this.
Yeah.
This is exactly a quick, easy. To me, this would be like the kind of like the starter box set. But you say this is what you get. Yeah, your basic set, and then when you have your additional rules that you would lay on top of the from that.
I laid it out in the way that made the most sense to me.
Can I multi-class being a pirate paladin?
Yes, but you have to. Well, technically, you could now because you are at second rank, but you have to wait till second rank, and you lose all.
Howie?
No. Domain to play. You if you go multi-class, you don't go to.
Well, like one of the hangups with paladins, as I'm thinking about, is the divine factor about being a paladin, and you've kind of removed that. Except for the sun god, you remove that from the campaign. You remove that from the situation. So it's just kind of like, what kind of doors have now been opened because of the not having to deal with the divine right versus.
Well, you still have to basically pray and do certain rituals every day to maintain your ability to cast Hardiums in a lesser degree to the Refractionist. If you stop doing that, your character will lose his ability to be a to be a Sun Kid.
But there's no hard line, no hard alignment lines. Is what I guess I'm saying.
No, there is not.
And I get, and in looking this over, I see no alignments whatsoever.
I like this more.
Just the 4 reactions. Now, my thing with alignment is I'm stealing this a little bit from Legion of Myth, but I was like this beforehand. Alignments can be just way too limiting compared to reality, and this is mostly meant. Admittedly, this is mostly meant to be a cinematic game, but that whole you got to have this hardcore line in the sand. It's like even the most noble person is 50 Shades of Grey. There's no way of getting around that. So I just felt like a hard set alignment was just not something I wanted in my game.
Hey.
A set of reactions is definitely good. What?
You stay out of Bruce's closet. We don't talk about what you find in there.
Well, I haven't yet, but I will eventually. I got pictures.
Who's Bruce even here?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
You guys were like completely into it. That's awesome.
No, this sounds fun. This really does sound fun.
This definitely sounds like this is going to be a fun time. So starting next week, for 3 weeks, we are going to be. This is going to be what we eat, sleep, and breathe here on TableBreaker. So definitely make sure you join us for the shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
So yeah, so we are getting toward that time for the wrap up. So TCG, what do you got coming up this week besides prepping for this game?
Not much. I've had to cut back on the amount of videos I make because I was starting to show the first signs of burnout, and cutting back to video every other week has already done me some good. So this week, nothing, but next week I am going to be having a video of the Soviet Union in the Robotech universe.
Okay.
It'd be interesting.
Okay. Nato, what do you got coming up this week?
Tomorrow, I'm hopefully going to be reviewing the Ravenloft box set from the 1980s. I'll be doing a shadow chat on Saturday night. Just don't have a topic yet. And then all next week, I'll be doing more Ravenloft reviews. I'm going to try and make it through all 20 or 30 Ravenloft books I have, plus some of the box sets until Halloween. Just going to be a lot of Ravenloft reviews. I'll be doing some eBay videos because it is time for those folks who sell on eBay to clear out some clutter, get rid of some junk, make some cash, and hopefully teach people how to not get ripped off on eBay if they are going to be selling. And that's about it for the next week. And then once October rolls around, we'll be doing a whole bunch of other Halloween crafts and projects, things like that.
Okay, and Bruce, what do you got coming up this weekend?
Well, Friday night, if you are not a subscriber to Janet from Another Planet, you get to see us go full bore into our hatred of shitty politicians, both sides of the aisle on that one. And then we talk a little bit about rational things, but mainly about our hatred of shitty politicians and the media. Saturday, right now it's kind of looking like I'm going to do some rolling up of thief or skilled type characters for my campaign. And if I got some people mulling around on Saturday afternoon, I might pull in for a, hey guys, here's your characters. Here's your play test. We're gonna fuck around for a bit, and I think we're gonna do that. So yeah, so today this is a free week, and then Saturday night, of course, the great and illustrious Chimerian Saint Kai of Rant will be at the channel after 9 o'clock. Looking forward to that. And then Sunday, I don't know what I'm doing Sunday yet. I know Sunday at 7 o'clock, I'll be hosting Ice Pirates at the Discord channel. And anybody that wants to watch Futurama, be in there by 4:30. So I'll be watching Futurama, and we'll be discussing that here pretty soon. Monday's discussion with Janet will be all about the Ice Pirates. And I'm looking forward to this movie because there's some really cool things about the Ice Pirates. And if you want to really love the movie, forget about the last 5 minutes.
Peace.
That's
Donald, what do you got coming up this weekend? Or
Oh,
this week?
tomorrow I'm gonna be away from the camera because I will be playing. Right. I don't want to say heavy metal. What am I playing? I am playing. I'm playing a game over a place in Washington. What am I playing? Not
Don't
Warhammer.
matter.
Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy. Warhammer Fantasy. I keep wanting to say heavy metal fantasy. I'm like, no, that's not right. I'll be playing Warhammer Fantasy in Washington. Saturday, if Bruce will have me, maybe I'll play test something with him because that sounds fun as hell. And Sunday. I know we tried to do this last week, but life being life, and I having to make a trip to Indiana, which sucked. We will be doing the Jim Belushi and John Ritter's Real Men, where I think they miscast somebody and they should have just used Bill Murray because that's the way he was acting the entire movie.
I can't believe you don't like this movie because it is a perfect movie to showcase the comedy talent of Jim Belushi, the world's funniest living Belushi. How dare you?
I didn't say I didn't like the movie. I'm just saying Bill Murray would have been a better choice for that role because that's how he was acting the entire movie. Hi, I'm Bill Murray.
Bill couldn't have pulled that off. Bill doesn't have the.
Good.
Bill couldn't have pulled it off. He's not tough enough. He's all tough.
The scene with the dominatrix in that movie that changed Jim Belushi's character for the rest of the film. That completely made him completely cucked. After that,
I love the scene with the loving his parents, his loving mom, and mom.
His
aunt. Yeah. So there's a lot of surprises about this movie. I've never seen it before. I'm a big Jim Belushi fan. I liked him in. There's a couple of movies he did in his late 80s that I really enjoyed. But what movie I want you to review, Bruce, is Shoot 'Em Up. If I can find a way to bring it to my channel sometime next year.
Listen, if we mention it, I'm sure it will happen. But I gotta placate Janet. November.
Oh, she'll love this movie.
I know she will. I know, but follow me for just a second. Not Norman Reedus, but the other Boondock Saint. What's his name?
Peter. I don't know. Sean Murphy.
Neil Patrick Flannery.
Yes, I was getting there.
Yeah. Well, the entire month of November, we'll be reviewing movies of him because Janet's got a thing for him.
God,
he's a really nice guy. I've worked with him on sets before. He's so cool. And I'm like, so you really gush about this guy? She's like, yes. And I'm like, fine. November's it. I don't want to fucking have to deal with one fucking turkey fucking movie.
Yeah. Then
listen. I love Thanksgiving for what it is on a patriotic and spiritual basis. I think giving thanks is something that many people have forgotten the art of. But I cannot stand turkey. I worked at a miserable shithole called Kroger's in East Peoria, which they later fired me. And I learned to hate turkey. Like, turkey is like the worst fucking animal for food consumption in the world. It's dry as shit. You have to have 3 gallons of gravy to make it go down well. You have to have another gallon of milk to wash that and take a nice shit afterwards. Yeah, Sean Patrick Flannery, amazing guy. But I don't want to fucking have to look at one fucking turkey in November that I should not have to. If I go out in public, it's my fault because I went out in public and, oh God, there's a million fucking turkeys at HEB. I fucking hate turkeys.
I can teach you how to make turkey actually not to dry. But I wanted to ask you a question there, Bruce. Have you done Fight Club or Pulp Fiction yet?
Neither of those movies yet.
Cool. I didn't want to miss that.
Oh God, Pulp Fiction.
Like the Dune movie we did on Monday, like the first hour of it, I was like fatigued and I was sucking on coffee beans, and then the coffee beans hit, and like after hour 2 and 3, like, 3 hours of fucking jacking off basically to that movie. I fucking love the movie Dune, and the theatrical version of the movie is like a 71 for me. Okay, it's very watchable. The score is amazing. There's some cool stuff in it, but the Spice Diver edit, if you've not seen the Spice Diver edit of Dune, it's a 3-hour version with a lot of the deleted scenes restored. I mean, like you see his first wife and her kids that he gets after a knife fight that was never in the theatrical version. You get a lot of minutes added to the film with a lot of good context. There is a lot of narration because this is a movie based on Dune, and otherwise it'd be a 6-hour film, which I was happy to. Let's go for a 6-hour film. Fuck, what was her name? Sean Young did a video of on a Super 8 of her experience in Mexico, and it chronicles David Lynch's hell he went through because Dino De Laurentiis fucked up the entire movie with all of his stupid ideas in 2 hours and 17-minute mandate. But Sean Young put this film on YouTube. So if you guys like Dune and you love Sean Young, she's got a channel. She's got a channel with her video from Dune, and you can watch the filming process. It's substantial. It's like a half hour to an hour long. And she says this movie, we filmed like 4 hours of it. And even Pat Stewart was saying this would have been a great movie if we would have gotten everything on camera into the movie, because they filmed like 4 hours of it. But man, we got what we got. Sorry.
The version that me and Shadow did early on, man, that movie, I was about ready to turn it off right when they hopped on a ship using a Traveler. That thing was just disgusting. I'm sorry. I was like, yep, I'm done, or I need more beer. One of the two.
You don't understand the Navigator, do you?
It made me feel dirty.
Oh, so you're not
Was
the
it
only
really
one
the
that's seen
Navigator?
So you weren't the only. Sorry, it's the fact that a buddy of mine literally describes the nav. Sorry.
Go on.
Okay, it's a fact that a buddy of mine literally describes the Navigator as a diseased vagina.
That's kind of what I called it. Hey,
So all I have to say is before you do those two movies that Shadow said, I am still awaiting you guys to do the original Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh God, yeah.
Not the Nick Cage redo.
Yeah.
That was
original.
still pretty okay. The Nick Cage version's all right.
No.
No, hold on. When I say all right, I mean it's highly watchable by Gen X. The original Gone in 60 Seconds is a classic. The only movie that measures up to it and actually exceeds it numerous times is the Blues Brothers.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
So, but no, I'm sorry. The entire last 45 minutes of the movie is nothing but a car chase, and at the end of it, you're so sad because of the condition of that Shelby.
Oh yeah. It will make
Agreed. Completely in agreement.
I'm trying to find a way to fit it into our schedule, but Shoot 'Em Up is such a great. It's a family film. I mean, I might pick that as my Christmas special. How much of a family film that is?
I got a family film for you.
What?
Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh God, no! Watch The Expendables with your son.
Oh God, no!
That's a hell of a bonding moment.
No. My Christmas pick this year is going to be Violent Nights. It's the movie of last year that brought Christmas back into my heart.
I'll tell you what. After I get done watching Krampus, I'll watch Violent Night, but I got to watch Krampus first.
I get it.
No. The reason why is because I just watched The Gate 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And The Gate is like how to do baby's first horror, which is good. It's good for baby's first horror. It has some really good effects in it. The guy that stands up and he falls down, a bunch of little dudes walk from his corpse. That was really awesome. There's some really cool special effects in it. We're going to do The Gate. Probably, I want to do that in October. Not this year, maybe next year.
Gate, the one that came out in the 80s?
86.
I kind of remember that movie. That was a weird-ass movie.
It is. Hell, they have it for free on the tubes.
I'm sorry. This comment right here is something that you would say.
Because I did watch Basic Instinct with my father on opposite sides of the room, and I didn't know where his hands were.
Wait. You said you were at the Beetlejuice musical?
I wanted to go, but Bobert would not call me. I am so fucking heartbroken. My wife and I, we didn't know what to do. Like, I'm like, Bobert's going to the musical without me. I want to go with Bobert.
That musical was just a hands-on experience.
I know. I mean, never believe anybody when they say I'm in politics and I play Miss Morals, because this is the Exhibit A. All right.
Here we go.
What the guys with 3 strokes here in Congress? What was it? McDonnell. You had McDonnell that just had a stroke. Fetterman just had a stroke, and Bobert had her strokes on camera. So
Okay, and we'll go ahead and call it there, folks.
Make sure to get your boosters, like, share, and subscribe to all of these very fine creators. Make sure you do that. The Christmas season is coming, so don't be breathing on Grandma.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week with the CTG's game, and we will catch you next time.
Bye, everybody.
That's